you came from different places in order actually to celebrate the life and achievement of Dr. Bob Gillies. The original idea actually came out in a discussion with him, and the intention was to have this meeting last year. Now we are having it all together. He's not physically with us, but he's in spirit, definitely. His family will be joining us.
Seeing your stomach.
No, not helpful. Thank you. Yeah, we will have people here in the room, as well as there will be people joining us on Zoom. We'll start by some welcoming remark from our Cancer Center Director, Dr. John Cleveland. This is followed by our Associate Cancer Center Director for Quantitative Science, Dr. Dana Rollins. John.
Thank you, Issam. Good morning and welcome. It's an honor and privilege to be kicking off this workshop. Thank you for Issam to stepping up to the plate to take this over. I know that Bob would really appreciate it. It's really, I think, this kind of meeting, this kind of workshop underscores the impact that Bob had on the field of image analytics, and it's just one of four things that he was doing. I knew Bob mostly from his work in metabolism, where we were collaborators. He was also a leader in drug development and a leader in cancer evolution. And he was a bud of many here who miss him greatly. The weekend emails were flying back and forth, and we all miss all of those, and we miss him very much. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming. He's had an inspiring career and touched many. His trainees are throughout the world, and his colleagues are throughout the world, as we know from just the guest list here, from New York, from Mayo, from Arizona. Thank you for putting us over the top in the election. From the Netherlands, from the Netherlands as well, and it just kind of reflects the broad swath of influence that Bob's science had. And as the father of radiomics, this is what we're really here to celebrate and talk about today. It's unusual to have an individual that gives birth to an entire field. And so Bob's the only one I've known that's really done that. So I think I'm looking forward to the workshop, and I thank all of you for coming. I know that he's smiling from up above, and I know how much his family really appreciates us getting together and bringing this image analytics workshop in his memory. As Issam said, they'll be joining us tonight. They'll be here tomorrow as well. So please introduce yourself to them. They're just kind of reflect Bob. I mean, they're wonderful people. So please introduce yourself. They want to hear your stories as well. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our Associate Center Director of Data Science and our Division Chief of Quantitative Science, Dr. Dana Rollison.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clearwater. I just wanted to echo John's statements. We're really just so honored that you've decided to join us and honor Bob's memory in the workshop today. I didn't know Bob personally very well outside of work, but I've been at Moffitt 19 years and really had the pleasure of working alongside him the entire time he was at Moffitt. And one of the things that I so greatly admired about him was, as John described, he was a Renaissance man when it came to science, and his ability to bring together basic science, data science, clinical, even population science, and to pursue research that really translated across all of those disciplines was just remarkable. I mean, he was a real pioneer. And that was inspiring to me as we were building our data warehouse and he was the one who really taught me about the value of imaging and how imaging in of itself is valuable, but when connected to genomics and the plethora of other data we had was just really could transform the way we did cancer research. So I really appreciated his advocacy for building out a lot of the technologies and the teams that we have today at Moffitt to mine those data. And that legacy just lives on. You'll hear from others today at Moffitt about a lot of the imaging work that we're doing at Moffitt, and I know he's influenced the field beyond Moffitt as well. That pioneering spirit and visionary also came into play when we were starting the Department of Machine Learning. And of course, Dr. Gatenby's vision around mathematical oncology and had established the integrated mathematical oncology department led by Sandy Anderson. We had a very strong and have a very strong biostatistics and bioinformatics department led by Brooke Fridley. And we all envisioned that if we could build a third department where we brought in engineering and computer science in addition to the already strong expertise we had across the other disciplines in quantitative sciences, wouldn't that be remarkable to have all of those disciplines in our center combined with the data? And so Bob was a great partner in working with me in the search committee to identify a chair for this new department. And just like Bob, we had to find somebody who had a similarly pioneering spirit and who is courageous to have a vision and to see the potential for how science could advance. And we were both thrilled to be able to bring Dr. Naqa to Moffitt to start the new machine learning department. And he was certainly courageous coming here just out of COVID. He started, I think, just months after lockdown ended. Issam came down from the University of Michigan to start this brand new department. And it's already grown to 6 individuals, extremely talented investigators who are working across the cancer continuum. And you'll hear from them in this meeting today as well. So again, just want to echo, I know that Bob would, I'm sure, be very honored that you all gathered here to continue the tradition. And I know that he's very pleased that Dr. Naqa took the initiative to convene us very quickly in his memory. So thank you, Issam, for that. And with that, I introduce you to Issam, who's going to continue your welcome here today. Issam.
I couldn't thank Dr. Allison and Dr. Cleveland for all their help and support and the vision that they had. Of course, the support is moral as well as financial, which is both are much appreciated. I would like to start with you with some of the logistics that are involved with this workshop. So without further ado, you know how Bob actually started that type of workshop several years ago. With many of you, actually, I can see in these pictures that are taking over different years. And it was an open gathering where people will have an open discussions about topics related to radiomics. My first introduction to it actually happens in 2015. And I learned about it from one of my colleagues. We go many years ago, Dr. Eduardo Morris, because we were doing our own things in radiotherapy, but we didn't make that connections with what's going on in radiology in terms of the field and the terminology. Of course, I was familiar with all the great work that Dr. Gillies was doing with the group at Mastro. We don't have Andre yet, but Paul is on here, and that first paper that signaled the birth of this field was published together with a group at MSK as well. So we would like for us to continue with this legacy. As Dana mentioned, me coming here to Moffitt wasn't a clear shot for me at the time because I wasn't clear. I was doing part-time machine learning, doing medical physics in the approach. And I would get these single liner emails from him about what do I think, where are we in the process. Then each single liner will end up with a half an hour conversation about how great we should be doing and what are all the opportunities available here and what we can build uniquely together. As I mentioned earlier, the idea of this workshop, actually it was his idea. The title, even the title, it was the title he came up with for this. And that venue he has been using for the past 6 or 7 years with Matt Shabat and the team as well that took this to the next level. And it was an opportunity to meet actually many of you, get to know many of you over the years, probably through your work and publication, but also in person as well. So we have a great mixture of people, probably highlighted by Bob's vision of bringing a different group of people to do works. We have MDs, of course, in the field of radiology, in the fields of radiation oncology. We have physicists. We also have imaging scientists, biostatisticians, mathematical modelers, as well as epidemiologists. And of course, with Dr. Cleveland would be unique as the biologist in the room. So thank you for coming. Now, in terms of how this workshop will work out, we have actually 3 sessions, this one in the morning, the one in the afternoon, and tomorrow in the morning. There is a theme associated with each of these sessions, may or may not be clear, need some work on inference regarding that. We start by imaging plus AI, the combination of imaging and other molecular biomarkers, which is the same vision that Dr. Gillies has brought to us. As then I mentioned, he was a renaissance. It's not only imaging, but he works in biology, hypoxia, metabolism, and other areas that probably I don't know a lot about. He was generous with his time, with his resources. When he came first to Moffitt, we were doing still some clinical studies and we couldn't figure out how to do it, where to do it. He just offered his lab for us. That's part of the generosity we have. Many of you, I know that you actually changed your schedule in order to make it and come here without naming people. I recognize that, we all recognize that. We very much appreciate that, and we are very grateful for you taking the time to share your vision, your relationship with Bob, and what it actually means to the future of our field in trying to do personalized cancer treatment using imaging as a main vehicle, but as well as using other data resources. This is a very nice area. No wonder Bob has selected. He has a great taste. We'll hear more from Matt about that. He was a scientist type person who also had a great time too. There are many amenities here. Please enjoy them while in this place. There are, dining, restaurants, entertainment, you name it. I want to take the rest of this time to play a video for some of the people, many of you probably here in the room, who actually worked very closely with Bob Gillies and presented the vision and actually embodied the vision he had.
He has been a colleague, a mentor, a leader, a friend, and a big brother at times even.
He published a huge number of papers that impacted the field in many people's lives.
He was just a remarkable scientist. Bob just always seemed to have the right answer. He just always brought so much wisdom. I think just the breadth and depth of knowledge he had brought so much to the table.
he'll leave a really important legacy for cancer research.
He was extraordinary about helping people with ideas, contributing data, helping design experiments, even if they weren't directly involved with him.
Bob Gillies was definitely a scientist. He was driven by science.
You are not going to find another person. He's not going to be replaced. His shoes are indeed probably too big to fill. It's going to take several people to accomplish what one person did.
Everything that he did was to try and tackle and answer questions.
He lives on in his work into the results of all the profoundly interesting and important things that he did as a scientist.
There's a huge network of scientists that are indebted to who he is, and therefore they have a whole bunch of labs that are being sort of nurtured and inspired by Bob's guidance. And even if he's not here, that still carries on, that still goes forward.
I'm just going to miss his friendship and, the little things I'm going to miss the most. We're always watching probably the same game at the same time. So we were always texting back and forth about a play or a score or the action or something like that. And he was a great guy to have in your court, a great guy to be around.
I miss him every day, and we meet again somewhere.
I would like to thank the people who put this great video actually together that was sponsored by Moffat. I should mention that the family will be joining us for the reception tonight. They couldn't make it earlier for this morning, and they will be here through the day. Like John already mentioned, please reach out to them. They are very excited to be here and to learn from you and share all the great experiences that they had. Now, we'll start the workshop in the next few minutes, and our first speaker is actually going to be Dr. Matt Shabat. Matt comes with very unique expertise. He's an associate member in the Department of Epidemiology. He has been a leader in the application of many of these new tools, including more recent machine learning techniques for lung cancer and lung cancer predictions, including applications in immunotherapy, among many other. Matt was a first-hand witness to many of the great things that Bob has done with him, and they worked together onto many of these initiatives, including sharing information about what's going on in games. I'm not sure what kind of games, Matt, these were. Baseball games, okay. I was once in Bob's office after I just came here, and he was bombarding me with all these great ideas, and suddenly recognized that there was a championship, the championship league game going on between Bayern Munich and somebody else, and we both stopped and watched Bayern Munich playing that game. They ended up winning, so it was a good experience at that time, while discussing science on the side. Or the opposite way. I don't know what was the right combination for it. I don't want to get into trouble here. So he's a very multifaceted type person, and he was a great fan for the Dodgers, right, Matt?
He turned into a University of Michigan fan.
Okay, yeah. Then you go Blues as well. That's even especially now that they started winning after I left the university. It's crazy. So I will have Matt